close that soundproof door?
Like a tickle of this nostril.
You know, we've never closed it, but honestly, we really should be.
Did I accident?
Lol.
Yes, I hear it. I love it.
Fucking Christ. Okay.
Alright, so we're starting.
Yeah, we've been recording.
Oh, we have.
Yeah.
You've been recording.
Josh, where are you going?
Soundproofing the room.
He's doing something that we should have done.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Probably like 5 episodes.
I've improved
ago.
the show somewhat.
Our guest is closing the door. Colin is filming stuff for Instagram. Michael has currently a migraine and can't look at the lights.
I'm dying.
I've improved the show somewhat, and that's more than most guests can say.
Exactly, because you're the first
I was gonna
one.
say,
And there's no competition.
hey, yeah. So far, you're the number one guest, Josh. You gotta
Number
give
one.
Number one, always will be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's that one song? I am number one. 2 is not a winner, and 3 nobody remembers.
That song must have been number 3 because I don't remember that.
To paraphrase,
I think it was Nelly. I think it was a song by Nelly.
I'm the man. I'm the man.
What does it take to be number one? 2 is not a winner, and 3 nobody remembers. Anyway, we've got a guest this week. Josh Mrowca,
Yes, just
also known as DJ Jazzy Josh, as he was known back on our old radio show when he was a guest exactly one time.
Back in the day during weeknight, which is kind of funny because he was only a guest like one time.
Yeah,
back
he
then.
was.
But
Yeah.
then,
If
like,
you're a true fan of the show, you would know that.
Oh, it's true.
It's funny because
me
I
out
remember
right now.
you being like the only one who had the like ad break thing. You're like with DJ Jazzy Josh, and I was like, it wasn't he only on our show like once?
Yeah, he was. Wait, did we actually record a promo for that one?
No,
No.
I don't
I
think
have
so.
no idea.
Oh man, that was
In the
funny.
archaic times of LTTV.
It was WLKL.
It was
That's what I said.
So yeah, I'm here joined by.
Frank Pontrelli. No,
You
it's
starting
Colin
this up again?
No, it's Colin still. I don't feel like keeping that up.
I've kind of like decided that he's never coming back. I just
Yeah.
We need to come on. We
same.
have to
honestly,
have
I
him
think he decided.
I'll
that he's
be
never
real.
coming
I've
back.
edited all show descriptions, editing them out
What
recently.
Damn.
Wait,
boy.
wait,
You
wait.
guys killed him.
No, I
didn't
mean,
you? Didn't you kill him? I think I.
no, we killed him off because of Helen Keller.
Josh,
No,
Josh, you can't. You're not supposed to tell them that.
no. What I mean by that is I edited like the overall show description from 4 guys to 3, essentially.
I was gonna say we go back and we just listen. There's just like dead space.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was worried. That's what I was worried about. Oh, but by the way, I
You're
need
like
to
WandaVision censoring.
Yeah.
exactly. I need to clarify. We didn't cut him out of the show. We actually we really wanted him on the show again because we kind of saw the signs that he was busy with other things, but we so desperately did not want the last episode he was on to be the one where he was arguing with us about Helen Keller and arguing with Colin about fictional world building.
That like adds like such an internet drama to it. Like everybody's like, oh shit.
Oh, fucking
The fallout.
Keemstar's gonna get on our fucking ass.
Oh, we're gonna have that piece of trash on us? Oh man.
To quote a Payday 2 magazine, conflict is the coolest thing ever.
Didn't that get updated recently after
It's
like
probably
2 years?
always getting updated
I think they just decided to. They're like, fuck 3. We're just gonna keep updating this game.
Yeah.
It's like Xenoverse, where it's been
No,
like
it's true.
4 years and they're
Oh, there's
just never
drama
gonna.
behind Payday 2. But man,
Well, what-
it's
what
been a
is
good
it?
time. I have to recheck the details, but they I think their office got raided, ironically, by police. Police raid incoming. Starbreeze Studios.
You became the very thing you swore to destroy.
I like how that's the like that really feels like a TV show that's in its like 8th year and they're coming out struggling to come up with new ideas. So it's like this time we got raided.
The fans have been requesting for a long time to
That they
have
get
a
raided?
Starbreeze heist.
Why is that them? Are they Starbreeze?
I think it's Starbreeze or no Overkill.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say I was like Starbreeze. I was like that
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
too like nice to be a Payday 2 developer.
well, hey, speaking of game updates, Apex Legends.
What a fucking what is that called?
Great game.
No, I'm talking
What?
about I'm destroying it now, but I'm talking about his transition. That was a good transition.
What a transition!
What a transition.
I just destroyed it.
It's
but,
never good
it
when you
great.
have to. It's never good when you have to call out the transition.
The game where I never get appreciated for my recon callouts with what's his face Crypto.
Because you're trash.
Oh, I've saved the team multiple times, bud.
Multiple?
Yes,
Like two.
No, remember that sick when I think it was me, you, and Bobby, and I was like, oh, they're going around the other way of the ridge, so we decided to come up behind them. For that reason,
I don't remember that.
Fuck.
I'm gonna take your word for it. I don't remember
all
it.
me,
but
all me.
Oh yeah, one game, bud. One game.
Anyway, they updated it. New season. They added a new legend to the cast. Her name
Played
is
by Erika Ishii.
Really?
Who?
Oh,
I only know that because I follow a lot of the Crit Roll members on Instagram, and she pops up occasionally.
oh, cool.
Because I think she's dating Taliesin Jaffe. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, so Valkyrie is a new character whose father was like a Titan pilot. So a lot of her abilities are inspired by like not only being a Titan pilot, but also like it kind of feels like they were like, what are the type of gameplay mechanics that happen when you're when you're like in a Titan, and what can we transition to being just a person? So she's got a jetpack, but she also has an ability that lets her fire missiles, and her ultimate, which I think is really only applicable in the Battle Royale mode, it allows her and her teammates to like jettison themselves into the sky and basically do the aerial drop again. So she's basically a mobile jump tower.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Titanfall 2 has all that and better.
What does?
Didn't that just like blow up recently on like Steam?
What
It should.
did?
It deserves to.
I'm pretty sure it did. Titanfall 2.
Oh yeah, because they made it free for a bit or something like that.
I'm pretty sure they made it free because it was blowing up. They're like, fuck it, let's just get more traction.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, if you haven't played Titanfall 2, and especially if you haven't played Titanfall 2's campaign, please do, because it's one of the best FPS campaigns in years. It's amazing.
Yeah, go that.
So wait, you said Apex has 2 modes now?
Yeah, it has a new mode that they added called Arenas, which is a 3v3 mode. Basically, the first team to like 3 wins. But there's also like tiebreakers and like a sudden death. But you get like a point, like a number of points. Like I think like you start off with like 550 points or like salvage or whatever the collectible thing is, and whatever that collectible, like the materials that you get in the Battle Royale that normally I don't even know what you use that for, except for using it for the little drop down. I don't know. There's like something in Apex.
Oh,
now.
you mean what's her face's shtick where she drops a mobile like marketplace?
No, not at all. I'm talking about like when you pick up material and you put it into like a machine to like, a duplicator, or replicator, or whatever. But
I legit haven't played Apex in like 2 years.
well, that was one of the things they added.
For it.
But they had
100 gigabyte update.
He has too much Call of Duty down.
That's true. That is a real
up to my neck.
You mean his You mean his foray into Assassin's Creed and Skyrim.
I am a Renaissance man.
He is quite literally.
Yeah.
I mean, listen,
Literally.
Assassin's Creed. Have you not played all of them?
I've not.
What are you, a fucking nerd that you haven't played a nerd
I've been
game?
saving
nerd?
my Assassin's virginity so that I can just.
It was actually that was one of the games. It was one of the mobile games actually.
Assassin's
virginity.
But anyway, the new arena mode, it's kind of like CS:GO or Valorant, where they give you like a number of points and you can spend that on weapons. And what are you looking around at? The chair's
Where
squeaking.
the fuck is Jingly Keys thing?
He moved a bunch
it
of stuff because he had to play a show.
He moved it so that we could have the room, so that you can so we could all be in
Here, Michael, you want a sound effect?
I hate it. It's not as nice as like
Okay, well, you
wind
gotta-
chime
Somebody
key
get me a
thing.
damn
Okay, well, you gotta
bongo
stop
drum.
moving around because the squeaking of the chair is really fucking the show up.
Damn, it's not squeaking now that I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, you want an egg?
What the fuck?
I don't know how this works. Isn't it just like a maraca?
It is a maraca.
Why is it an egg?
I don't know.
No, that's just.
I mean, I
Ask Danny DeVito.
Which is
That's
like
my
a nice
ancestor
egg
you're
in
holding.
this
Oh my
dry
god, we are going off in so many directions. This is like the timeline splitting in Endgame. Oh my god. Anyway, you get like a number of points to spend on weapons.
Oh yeah, Apex.
The number of points allotted at the beginning goes up with each round. So does the quality of each player's armor. You can like upgrade the guns as well to like have more attachments. It's all really well thought out. If you've played something like Valorant or CS:GO, you'll probably have a fun time here. But it's a lot. I mean, it's Apex shooting mechanics, so it's not quite as...
You mean it's infinitely better than Valorant and CS:GO?
Well, definitely better than CS:GO. Valorant, I still do quite enjoy. But yeah, it is better.
I think I really like their shooting. Well, I think it's kind of like Titanfall 2 shooting.
Oh yeah, it's basically Titanfall 2.
And they added a bow.
Oh.
They added
What?
So I can Hanzo some people and not hit anything.
They added an upgradable
Simple geometry.
Is that a line from Hanzo?
It is, yeah. It is.
Oh man, Overwatch is trash. All right,
We name dropped my boy Hanzo.
You're talking about my dead game over
I
here,
know.
bud?
Although I say it's dead, it's not trash.
It's a very
Lucio will
fine
kill you
line
in your
between-
sleep. By the way,
As our resident Lucio main.
don't
Listen,
even
Jeff Kaplan was
don't even get
fired.
me started.
Dude, on your Lucio?
Wait, was he fired or did he resign?
He resigned,
but,
I
you know,
think.
one of
he
the- one of the
resigned.
two. Yeah, but I think he resigned probably because they're terrible or something like that.
I mean, he left. I mean, all the directors are
Yeah,
leaving.
but my boy Hanzo got name dropped in 2 shows we're reviewing today.
Oh,
Think about it.
did he?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
And Mortal Kombat. Hanzo,
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right.
you know,
He was gonna try it. He just said Hanzo, and then Matt was like, "Yeah," and came in. He's like, "Thank God I didn't have to pronounce the last name."
yeah. Hanzo,
Oh, my
Scorpion,
Hasashi?
Hasanashi.
I don't remember either. I don't.
We're
really
butchering
care.
it more than-
We're gonna find when we get to the reviews that, contrary to last week where we had nothing but positive things to say about the things we were reviewing, this week is not like that. But I want to. So that's why I wanted to open on the highs. Can you please stop?
I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah,
gonna-
now that
that's
you
gonna be
gave this
so
to me,
loud.
take it back.
My last name is Mrowca's, but you don't have to, you know.
I was doing it because they would. You see, I subconsciously was like Mrowca next to me.
Yeah, like next week when we have Alex on, we'll
Mr.
do.
Auka.
We'll stand.
Yep.
We're just gonna stand the whole
Gonna
thing.
stand.
We
the whole
stand
time.
for stance.
Stan him.
We all need to write stanzas so that we can stand for Stanzik.
George Costanza.
Guys, we really gotta move.
I know. That's why I wanted to start positive. I want to start light. The new
Listen,
Apex
my migraine's
season.
going away.
Did
All
I
right,
say-
now I just have everything built up in my head.
The new Apex season is amazing. If you haven't played Apex in a while, this is absolutely the time to get back into it because this is a new permanent mode they're adding, and I think that this is definitely going to be like one of their main appeals now. Like I think the Battle Royale and the Arena mode are both really awesome, and it's just nice that that they're not just defined by the Battle Royale mode. They're clearly taking those mechanics, those characters, and trying to make a more like an even greater game beyond that. But that bow and arrow, let me tell you, is amazing. It is the coolest bow and arrow I've used in a video game since Crysis 3, and that to me is like the gold standard for bows in
Another game
games.
I played recently.
Crisis?
Yeah,
Oh, you played
3.
Crysis 3?
Oh yeah,
Was that story not amazing?
it was good. I felt like the mechanics were a little clunkier than I remembered, though.
Yeah,
Way back in the day,
that makes sense.
I remember it a lot better. But good shit.
Oh my goodness.
I'm DJ Jazzy Josh, by the way, huge friend of the show.
He's listened to almost every episode.
Almost every one. And
Hey,
I
you know
will
what?
be
You and
caught up
Alex,
by
I think,
next
are the
week.
only two that have probably listened to like everything.
Yeah.
I will be caught up by next week, 100%, because it is great to listen to at work.
Oh,
if you
so
want
look,
something to listen to at work.
Positive feedback from friend of the show.
I like it.
Right there.
Huge best friend of the show.
Oh, and also shout out to my
The friend of the show.
shout out to my boy
friend of
Nate
the show.
from, I don't remember what state you're in, Ohio, I think.
I
Who-
can
Iowa.
understand why- I can understand why you don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's Iowa, isn't it?
No, that's
That's another guy.
another guy, and that was my sister's boyfriend went to school in Iowa.
Oh.
But I think my friend Nate is in Ohio, and he's been listening to the show a lot recently, which I think might account for the huge spike we got in listenership.
So you're trying to tell me it's not Tom Hiddleston?
Oh yeah, so we had a theory that our show and our great things we had to say about the new direction of the MCU might have accounted for the new season, the new show Loki being pulled back, the release date, and now it's getting released on Wednesdays instead of Fridays. And we were saying like, oh, that works perfectly for our show. We were like, oh, Tom Hiddleston absolutely listen to the show.
We did get liked by a voice actor from Pacific Rim and Black, actually.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Oh man, thank God. So, thank God we're getting
it's
traction.
Possible.
Thank God we're getting traction. What was the which
he played young Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Yeah, I haven't watched that still.
yeah, it's a good show. Pretty good.
So
Thank you for the like anyway.
Yeah.
So do we want to start with Yasuke or do we want to start with Mortal Kombat?
I kind of want to start with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, let's start with Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat for sure. That's definitely what I was saying.
Oh,
I didn't like it.
Let our guest do his first thoughts.
He's messing with his mic. Wait, give him a second.
Yeah, and there's gonna be tons of noise from that.
Put me on the spot.
Yeah,
Here.
good job. Are you trying to move it?
No, I was just kind of like
Future edit for Matt. Cut this out.
Oh my God, this is why I don't like using it with this program, because we can't add markers in real time.
This is what people subscribe.
Marker.
Look, just type in a minute 16 in your phone.
There's no way it's only been a minute 16.
Or no, sorry, 17 minutes 4 seconds. So go to 16 minutes. Go to 16 minutes. Type in 16 minutes.
As at this point, we might as well just keep it in.
Yeah, I mean, especially with that moment that just happened. Colin,
we're getting the raw experiences here, Colin. We can't.
Colin misconstruing.
Real human show, all right?
Yeah,
this is a real human show.
Human music.
Yes.
What is that a reference to?
We
Rick and Morty.
Oh, okay.
We fumble, we fart. We're human. So that's
Josh coming over here with the real.
I'm the real moral core of this show.
This is why he's the friend of the
Taking
show.
over the show. No, I have to be a nicer guest. I can't take over the show yet.
Hear that, Alex? He's the friend of the show.
Ooh, Alex is the love interest of the show.
Oh, he's the mistress.
Is this the Critical Spectrum cinematic universe we're getting in here?
Critical Spectrum will just become Ultron or Vision.
Are we gonna do for Alex the thing that I said we should have done for when Colin got in the car that one time where he gets in the car and no, it was for Alex. It was for Alex originally, where we picked him up and we said we would all just be naked in the car, and then he would just come in and just be like,
"What the fuck's going on?
What's going on here?"
Yes. Now we're gonna be just naked in the studio instead.
Except then we're gonna have audio problems again, and we're gonna have to put on our clothes real fast before Colin's dad comes in.
I think you mean IT support.
IT support, please. Mortal Kombat.
Oh, I thought we were going to say Yasuke.
No.
Mortal Kombat.
Josh, take it away.
What can I say?
It was mortal and it was combat.
Yeah, there was bad spelling. It
was bad spelling.
That's like one of the only good jokes in that movie.
Yeah. That's
excuse me.
True.
Kano had some pretty fire jokes.
Sure.
All right, sorry, no.
Oh my gosh,
we're letting Josh go.
He
good
was
racially tinged jokes.
He was written to be such a cheeky bastard.
I love it.
It was great. In the I don't know anything about Mortal Kombat lore. Is he always Australian or was he just?
I think he's Australian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Josh, you should get closer to your mic.
Suits him. Okay. Technical difficulties. The mic is lauding over me. Is this good?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
What I came away from it is basically a lot of it is really cool, refreshing action. It's kind of cornball in some scenes.
Oh, for sure.
A lot actually, but basically what I could have done with that is I could have seen if they would have just taken 20 to 30 minutes of the last half hour or so of the movie or wherever all the fight scenes are scattered out. They could have just gave us I would have been happy with 30 minutes of fight scenes.
Yeah, well, considering they never actually got to Mortal Kombat in the movie that is called Mortal Kombat.
Matt texted us and he was like, I'm like, there's only 40 minutes left, and there's not the tournament yet. Where the hell is it?
Oh my God, I was
like,
so
are they gonna have a
angry.
Tournament yet? It's like an hour. Yeah, we're an hour in. There's no tournament. They're just gonna cheat.
See,
and like, oh yeah, by the way, spoilers.
oh yeah, it's spoilers.
Look,
I don't think anybody really cares about the story of Mortal Kombat.
No. A little bit of a primer on the plot of the film. Basic premise: there's like a tournament that's going on for eons between Earthrealm and Outworld, where champions from both come together for a fighting tournament to decide. I think the rule is that if one of them wins 10 Mortal Kombat tournaments, then they get to take control of the other world.
Yeah.
And so despite having steamrolled, literally just fucking bodied fucking Earthrealm for the last 9 tournaments.
Is it 10 in a row or just 10 in general?
10 in a row.
Is it 10 in a row?
I believe it's 10.
God, Earth Champions must fucking suck.
I know. So that's the thing.
Oh, it's
they
not looking good for Earth.
They have fucking
The first
bodied
hour.
everybody for the last 9 tournaments. And then in this film, the leader of the evil group in Outworld is just like, oh, I just got this really bad feeling, that completely irrational, that we might lose if we do the tournament, so we're gonna cheat. So, hey, Sub-Zero, I need you to go and murder all of the champions. Which it's not like they're dealing with experts, because all the Earthrealm champions suck ass. They're all terrible.
All pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really BM to just go extra in for the kill. Like, look at Earth's champions that they had, and then they're like really just gonna cheat anyway. It's
Literally, if you just left it, they wouldn't like. Realistically, if he just left everything alone, and Cole would have never even found out about the tournament, never would have even gone for it, never would have even trained, and they would have probably just won anyway.
exactly.
Like, he screwed himself over.
You pissed his pissed him off a bunch of ways by like going after his family, and then you just like fucked yourself. So
never send a 4-armed man to kill a man's family.
What's the guy's name who has the robotic arms?
Jax.
The boy.
retconned arms.
He was like, oh, they're like, what's your? So my question is, if everyone has a unique like arcanum, right, or whatever it's called,
Arcana.
Thank you. Friend of the show.
I'm like Jamie. You just I'll pull it up.
Yeah. If he didn't get his arms ripped off, does that mean when he unlocked his arcana, his arms would just retroactively get ripped off?
Or it was just supposed to happen this way, Colin.
It's true.
Yeah, maybe it was fate. Maybe it was just gonna give him super strength anyway. Maybe it's Maybelline. Point is,
maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
The point is, when he got his robot arms, I was like, wait, why? And then I was like, oh, yeah, he did have a dragon marking. I completely forgot that he had a dragon marking. I completely forgot that he was one of the chosen. Because if you can't get an Arcana if you don't have the dragon marking that signifies that you qualify for the tournament. And like most of the likable, people who we are supposed to like in the movie, who are the good guys, none of them like get their fucking Arcana until like the end of the movie.
Well, question I had about that. It's Sonya, right? That's in it.
Sonya Blade.
Sonya Blade. That's what I thought. Is her Arcana the same as in the games? Because I didn't think she had blasty hands.
No, neither did I. I thought she was just like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of people. Yeah, she just pulled out her pistols like in the game. So
it's a little.
I mean, to be fair, they literally created a original character for the entire movie.
It was pretty lame.
He was the worst part of the fucking movie, in my opinion.
So true.
I mean, listen, he has like something that I call like 90s protag syndrome, where it's basically just like you can tell that he like they looked at him and it's like, this guy is like, he's so attractive, he's like so marketable, let's make him the lead in the movie. But like, you already had like, okay, now with a film like this, with a cast like what Mortal Kombat has in the games especially, there's a great opportunity for some great diversity in your cast and having a nice ensemble cast of an action film. Why was Liu Kang not the main character of this movie?
That's what I was wondering. He had main, like, real big protagonist vibes.
Yeah. Like he should have been the protagonist. And then
Remind me, wait, who's Luke? Is that the one with
The
the
fire
boy?
guy,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, same.
and then Kun Lao, his cousin, should have been the deuteragonist, the second most important character, because then you could have had the two of them like having a bond. Them like we could have learned about the tournament through them. We could have had them discovering their arcana. The whole beginning of the film would have been following someone who's already way more interesting because they have fucking superpowers in a movie all about superpowered people beating the fuck out of each other, and then it just would have been better.
Well, okay. Speaking of Cole's Arcana, the concept is interesting, but the execution was not great because the special effects you could clearly tell was just like a cheap plastic breastplate on the guy, because you could see his like neck moving around the like the collar of whatever he was wearing.
Here's what they did in the boardroom when they were coming up with this. What they said was like, all right, let's combine the energy absorption of Wonder Woman's gauntlets with Aquaman's armor, and then they called it a day. That's basically what I think. There was actually a meme that I saw. I need to find it because I don't know if I don't know if I bookmarked it on Twitter. I wish I had. But it was basically like, it was styled like the Mortal Kombat games, where like there would be like a little like what they did after the tournament, like old movies where they'd be like, Sonya went on to do this or that, like. But it was him like, it was like after Cole took off his stupid ass Aquaman armor, he went on to lose 5 like MMA matches and brought great shame to the Shirai Ryuan clan or whatever it was. And I just was like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, honestly, I thought his final form was like a transitioned stage in his Arcana levels. Like I thought, with my limited knowledge, he's going to become like Scorpion. Obviously that wasn't the case, but I'm like, this is going to get great. He's going to become Scorpion. He's going to kick some ass. But like that was his final form. I was like, okay, that's just kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, I completely agree. I literally saw that and I was like, literally everybody else's powers are cooler than this.
Yeah, he got 2 like wrist blades.
Yeah, he's got like a he's got like one of those Tony was the like baton things, like the L-shaped batons, and then another one which is the same thing except it's got a blade on it.
See, that's cool in like Batman, where he is like, that's like an accessory.
Yeah,
but that's like
his whole
shtick.
deal. With
Yeah,
him.
And his costume looks stupid.
What I also didn't understand is that like, yeah, okay, you were waking your Arcana and that like made them like have their power, but all of a sudden like they just like turned into like actually like fucking like martial artists, like a beautiful like like all of a sudden like they were just doing like getting their ass beat and shit, and all of a sudden they learned their Arcana and they're like doing flips and shit around. Like, is that just activated? Like, do you not even have to be good at fighting? You just open to your Arcana and all of a sudden you're like, I'm fucking good.
I mean, maybe it's like the Force where it's just
Mortal Kombat universe.
I mean, maybe it's like the Force where it just gives people powers. That's the thing about it. Like when you have something like Mortal Kombat, like if you look at the gameplay of Mortal Kombat, there's a lot of things where like those people would be dead long before a fatality happens.
Yeah.
Bones broken, like tendons sliced, whole kinds of just fucked up shit happening to these people. So in a movie adaptation, you have to ground it enough where the fatalities feel like meaty and like satisfying, but you also have to justify a lot of human characters being able to go toe-to-toe with people who are just monsters.
Like Goro, whatever his name is.
Yeah, and I feel like they just didn't do that effectively enough with the character. Like Sonya, basically, they consistently have her just be a jobber most of the film, and then at the end have her unlock her Arcana, and then all she gets to do is like one like spinning flip, and then just instantly kill someone who I was like looking forward to that rematch. Like, come the fuck on.
Yeah, that's my issue with like, honestly, like almost, I don't know. My entire thing is like, honestly, I feel like they killed all of the interesting characters.
Yeah,
like all the people I actually wanted to see like more,
like Milena or what's her face, scary mouth lady.
Yeah, her. They got rid of. Honestly, Kano. I like Kano personally. They got rid of him.
I like Kano. Yeah.
They what was Sombrero Man.
Kun Lao.
I call him Sombrero Man because Kano was like, I'll put you. Yeah,
Kung Pao like Kano did.
Yeah, but like that, his character, I like. when they were like, "Oh, what do? Your hat just spins," and he fucking cut the lady in half, and I was like, "Bro, that's awesome." I was like, "Man,
brutal,
that's what I'm saying." And he's like, "Flawless victory." I was like, "Oh."
What'd you guys think of the delivery of those like game finishers?
I thought they took me out of the moment.
You know
honestly.
what? You know,
I could see that.
But here's the thing, though. In the trailer, when I got to the end of the trailer when that released, and it shows the guy going finish them, or it was like. I actually was like really excited because then the very next thing in the trailer, the final thing that he showed was just a quick cut compilation of people just getting stabbed and shot. And I was like, okay, this could be pretty cool. Honestly, I feel like they showed every interesting kill or like at least alluded, though the things they alluded to in the trailer ended up not being cool at all. And then the fatalities they did have, I can only think of one, and it's the one you mentioned.
Yeah,
they have multiples. Well, first off, the one where he rips the heart out, and he goes, "Kano wins." That was a fatality. When he cut the dude in half, that was or the woman in half, that was a fatality. When he Ajax smashed the dude's head, that was a fatality. When Sub-Zero turned his Scorpion's blood into whatever ice and then cut him and then threw him through an ice wall, that was a fatality. There's other ones I don't remember.
That dude on fire who got eaten by the fire dragon.
Yeah. Who got eaten by the fire dragon, and then even Scorpion blowing fire over Sub-Zero, that was also a fatality.
Okay, so, correction, there are a lot of fatalities, but I only gave a shit about one of them.
They could have made a supercut still, like I was saying, just supercut all these fights, fatalities, and maybe also, too, that might sound cooler in the trailer, the finish him lines and stuff, but then it gets to the, like, movie part where they deliver it. I could see it either being, like, walking that fine line of, like, video game poggers moments, like poggers references, and then also kind of little kind of.
But the problem is, this is such a myopically constructed film that because they don't have an actual tournament, lines like "finish them" just they are robbed of what could be like the big moment. Like there should have been like people like in an audience cheering, or like people are like oh, the fight's about to begin, like dramatic music, the build up, the two combatants on either side, and then him just like shouting finish him, and then the fight begins, and they just are going at each other.
In a way, I feel like from a conventional movie sense, movie wasn't great, but in a replicating what a fighting game story is, it hit it on the head, basically. Like it's like 5 minutes of story, and then it's like it gets to the actual gameplay moment of a fighting game story where they exchange a few lines and then they actually fight, and then it goes back to 5 minutes of exposition and then another fight.
Yeah, I agree. I think they did do that good, but at the same time, that should have never been their plan for the movie. That's
true.
Like honestly, the fights, especially at the end, like I'm pretty sure they got like almost all of like the maps. I'm pretty sure they did that perfectly, like with Ajax, like on that whatever the fuck that wherever he was.
Oh, that bridge with the spikes.
Yeah.
We wanted to see him get thrown in them.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I think they did like the maps and everything, and like some of the shots like looked like I was like, oh, that was from the game. And I'm pretty sure the fatalities like were also almost like shot for shot like the fatalities in the game too. So when it comes down to like faithful recreations of that, I think that's awesome. However. That's where my positives kind of end.
Yeah, I remember everything those else maps from like 10 years ago. The last Mortal Kombat game I played, it was like 9, I think, in 2011. So, yeah, they recreated those good. But yeah, that's like the difficulty with making video game movies is like how much fan service, like referential stuff do you put in like that, like the where he keeps swiping his leg out from under him. So you can have like funny moments like that, like players will get. That's like a abused. Move combos to just keep swiping the leg.
Yeah.
But it could create some problems when you're comparing it to like Colin said, like conventional movie cinematography.
And I actually forgot about that, and I will give that credit that I thought that part was pretty funny. Of the constantly tripping him up.
They put it in there like well.
Like, oh man, it's like playing against Colin.
You mean when I played against you as Ares in Injustice?
Yeah, you mean what made me uninstall the game?
See, but they slipped that in there naturally, where that like kind of worked.
Injustice.
Yeah.
They have Ares in Injustice.
Yeah,
in
the
one.
First one.
Oh, okay. I've only have
he has a combo where you jump down Y and then another down Y, and you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Leave it up to Colin to find out.
Hey, look, I legitimately got good at Starfire in Injustice 2, and you can attest to that.
Yeah, he did.
Oh no, that's what made me uninstall the game. That's what made me uninstall Injustice 2.
Really?
Yeah, that wasn't that bullshit,
Starfire, I legitimately learned though. Ares was bullshit. I'll give you that.
Calm the game abuser. The abusive gamer is his new nickname.
You know, there were some people who wanted Scorpion to be like the main character because Hiroyuki Sanada just wonderful actor.
I love him in like everything he was in.
He's great. In Last Samurai, wonderful. In Avengers Endgame when he gets killed by Hawkeye,
Wonderful.
Oh,
Beautiful performance.
He was in Endgame.
Yeah, he was in Endgame. He was the guy that Hawkeye had a sword fight with in Japan. Yeah, but the thing is, I feel like Scorpion versus Sub-Zero is kind of like Snake Eyes versus Storm Shadow in G.I. Joe. Like, they're really cool looking characters. They've got iconic designs. You immediately get that they're rivals, and so every fight that you see with them is awesome, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee that they're interesting characters or that they could hold a story themselves. That being said, I would have much preferred that they tried to do that with this film, as opposed to just having Scorpion show up at the very beginning and the very end.
Cole sucks.
Honestly,
that's all of our reviews. Cole sucks.
Honestly though, it's true. Like,
it's not just the actor's fault. Probably it's probably bad writing.
No, I mean it's not only that, but like they had so many games and so many characters to choose from that they decided to say, "Hey, let's just make our own," and just like
guy's family that nobody cares about. Like,
you know what's worse is that, well, two things. You mentioned the family. The wife was a way bigger badass than even Cole was because she picked up the axe. It was like, fuck this, and then
he's getting his ass beat consistently. She's like, fuck
and she just takes an axe and thrusts it into the side of fucking Goro.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Even she got sick of her husband getting her.
Exactly. But the second thing is there is literally you know how he has those two.
She just like puts the axe.
You're like, Jesus, what a fucking pussy.
You know how he has the two batons.
4-armed monsters. Pussy shit.
There is another character in Mortal Kombat who also has two batons. So when there was like some leaked photos of like a poster for Mortal Kombat, when people saw that, they're like, oh, maybe he's actually this character from the games. No, he's not. He's not. They could have, though. They could have done it.
I can almost guarantee you now that like they're getting this backlash when they actually do the actual Mortal Kombat tournament movie, if they ever fucking make another one, who knows. They're probably just gonna be like, yeah, he was totally this guy the whole time. We swear.
This entire movie is just sequel bait. That's all it is. The entire movie is just a sequel bait for a movie that I don't even want to see.
I'll be real. I thought Cole and his daughter were actually just brother and sister because he looks like he's 17.
Yeah.
I thought that was his wife was his mom for a while until
I thought he was babysitting her, and then like the woman was like,
me too,
was like the mom that was gonna like here's your paycheck, thanks for watching my kids.
Yeah, right. At
the MMA like fighting ring.
I was only watching it with my brother and sister, and they looked at me like we all kind of looked at each other like, so wait, what are their relationships? And it was the thing that confused the most is when they went to go get ice cream, and then the woman that we thought was his mom kissed him, and we're like, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Think of how many movies there have existed where it's always where you see two characters and you just immediately can process within moments of what their relationship is, and it's so strange when you can't, because then it's not like. Because it's not like it's an easy thing to fuck up. There has to be like something where and it's not even like it's something you can intend to do. Like that happened here with Mortal Kombat where I was unsure of the relationship, and then I was surprised. That also happened in Death Stranding. In that game, there was these two characters who I was convinced was father and daughter, and then you go on a mission to like take the girl and like get her back to him. And then you find out that they're actually lovers and not at all like related by blood, and you're like, wait, what are they? Oh, they're a couple. Oh, I've been spending the last 4 hours
thinking I'm reuniting this family.
Yeah, thinking I was reuniting father and daughter. So yeah, that was so strange. You're absolutely right.
Well, and I think the biggest scene that kind of fucked it up is when they were talking. She was making him the strength bracelet. they were not talking like they were like related at all. Like they were just talking like she was like some like random girl that he just like took under his wing or something like that.
She was literally like his
just I don't know.
She was the girl in his corner during those fights, and it's like I don't know, the relationship didn't make a lot of sense.
Like honestly, in the beginning they could have just been like, I'm having her in my corner, and he would have been like, what, why? And he's like, don't question it, she's my daughter, or some stupid ass line like that. I mean, it was already terrible writing. So
what also confused me was when his wife was like let her daughter see the fights, but she was just like, I don't watch the fights anymore.
Like, I can't watch it.
So I was like, wait, so why are you letting your daughter watch the fights of this random guy?
Well, I didn't even... Here's the thing. I didn't even assume... No, you know what? Actually, I think in the first scene when I saw them together, I probably did assume that they were in a relationship, but I didn't assume that they were in a relationship, but I didn't know what to think of the kid. I thought the kid was just like his like sister or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's what even when they kissed, after they kissed, then we're like, okay, so maybe she's like a stepmom or something, or like maybe that's his sister.
We're spending way too much time analyzing the relationship.
Listen, the point is the movie's bad, okay, and Cole's terrible. He should feel bad. I'm kidding. Don't feel bad. Actually,
the actor I think did a decent enough job with the material he was given. I'd like to see him in other things and better things, hopefully.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah,
But
do you want to give our ratings for this movie?
Yeah, I'll give it. Josh, you go first.
Oh boy, 8. No, not 8.
I hope not.
8 out of 100 now.
8.5. Liu Kane bicycle kicks out of 24. Melina's teeth.
So that's like a third. So that'd be like a 3 out of 10, or more like a 4.
Josh, you're still in my rating system.
How much? 8 out of 24?
24, so it'd be like a third.
6. Oh, can I just say
that would be a third. So it's like 30%. Yeah.
Yeah, 33%.
What was that?
3.3.
So yeah, about a 4 out of 10.
Say, by the way, I always find it funny. I was watching Mando and then now just Mortal Kombat. You ever notice how movies be like when they're depicting like a crowd like watching a fight? They're always like the most like savage people watching these fights. They're like, yeah, fucking kick his ass, kill him, rip his throat out. They're like rabid like dogs like watching these fights.
It's all that testosterone, bro.
It's like, I know they're trying to do like a kind of like a commentary on like how we like violence and stuff like that, but it always just comes off like nobody's like that.
You're like, who the fuck goes to a UFC fight and just goes like, terrorist nuts out?
I don't know if any of you guys ever saw it, but I think there was this like one panel where Ed Harris from he was in Westworld, and he was also in No Country for Old Men.
Never seen either of those.
What else was he in?
Westworld, good show.
Ed Harris. He was the police detective in No Pain No Gain.
Okay, that I've seen that, but I can't picture it. But it's okay. Right. Continue.
But I think he was the narrator of the story. But anyway, there was an interview where they were talking about like violence in media. I just remember that he was just like he was like, what is this violence? Is this violence? You're just smashing like glasses. You just smashed. I think he like smashed like a glass on the floor. He's like, was this violence? I don't know. It's just he just made me think of that. When we go to our break after we give our ratings, I'll find that clip and play it.
All right.
I'll give my ratings.
Ratings.
So do you actually give it a 4 out of 10, basically?
Like a 6, because honestly, some of the fights were kind of like, I mean, I'm not like, I don't have the most referential knowledge of CGI fights. I mean, I used to eat that stuff up. Remember that, like, those old not to go on another tangent, but like
the old like the 90s ones or whatever it is.
Not even those. It was like on YouTube. Like, it was, at least that's where I saw the clips. It was like a little series. People would put like dubstep of like Cyrax and Sector. Like,
I don't think I've ever watched that.
Each other's ass. I used to like that, but then I think I re-looked up that clip and it just didn't age the same. So
well, that's the thing is like, okay, this is like still going off on tangent, but like I watched a Spawn movie recently,
right?
And I was like, I remember this being so much better than it actually is. I'm like, this is like fucking awful. But it really is like more of like the same with the old Mortal Kombat movie, kind of bringing it back. Like the old Mortal Kombat movie, I'm like, when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, this is all right. But now I'm watching it now, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of like really bad.
Which is better though, old or new?
Well, see, the only reason I kind of like the old one is because it's nostalgic and cheesy and stupid, and I already expect that from it.
That's fair.
I feel like we should watch the 1995 film because I was reading an article talking about how this film feels like it doesn't really have a real beginning, middle, or end because of the way it's constructed.
It doesn't.
And because of the way that it foregoes the tournament entirely. And I think it ended by saying, like, just watch the 1995 film because at least that movie has a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. So anyway, point is, some of the fights were cool though. I think in comparison to what I remember of those. So some pretty cool fights, some pretty cheesy cornball moments, pretty bad story. Maybe like a 6 out of 10.
Okay. I respect that. Honestly, I'd probably...
Super cut of 20 minutes, Leslie. Super cut of like 20, 30 minutes of like the coolest fights. That would have been like...
That's all I need.
8 out of 10. Good movie.
I'd probably agree with you, honestly. I'm probably going to give it like a 6. The only actually, I don't know. I'd probably give it like a 5. The only reason is because like I'm literally 50-50 on it, where I'm like, half of me is like, just the story and the main character were just so forgettable that like I don't really care. But then the other half of me is like knowing like a little bit more of the source material, not really story wise, but like the fatalities and knowing the some of like the maps a little bit and some of the characters, just seeing those like little tidbits while like you were saying they're cheesy as hell the way they integrate them, it still just made me go like, yeah, Kano wins. I'm like, yeah.
The first time it did get me though, I was like, that was good. Then after it repeated a few times, I was like,
yeah. After they started, by the end, I don't remember what's the last one.
To like if they're not like the first one worked because he's like Kano wins. He's talking to his to the other people there. But when they do it like by themselves, they're like, who are they talking to themselves? Like fatality. Like there's nobody. Like who are you talking to, bro?
Right. Like when he I still can't remember the guy's name. Sombrero Man. When he just goes, he's like flawless victory. I'm like, what? Why did you say that? yeah, chill out, dog. But yeah, stuff like that. Like again, like it was still like, oh cool, like game thing. I'm like, he said the thing, but then I was like, he said it in a stupid way.
Very divisive movie.
Yeah. But
good
like,
and bad.
Right. So like, it does have like its good moments with some of like the fatalities kind of like really being almost shot for shot, and so I really enjoyed that. They still had the Scorpion going, "Get over here." That was a good like little nod.
The only which canonically has to be the only English that character knows.
I would assume
that's a fair point, actually.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure that's only from. I think that was in the 1995 movie. I don't even think that was in the games. I don't remember that.
Really?
Much. I'm pretty sure that was only in the old movie, and they just put it in there because everybody only like remembers that specific line from that movie. It was like a famous line from. Well,
it's in the more recent games. I know that.
Is it? Oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe it was added.
Maybe it's one of those things. Maybe it's one of those things where like the movie actually ended up
affecting the games.
Affecting the games because I know that happened with like Tomb Raider. Like in like the 2001 film, some of the aesthetics of that ended up reflecting the later games, like the design of Lara's mansion for one, and the fact that she was using two Heckler and Koch what are those guns? USP 45 match pistols.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. True.
Salivating in the studio.
But yeah, just to wrap mine up, I would say 5 out of 10. I'm really upset they killed off like all the only characters I really cared about. I really liked Kano just because he was like a douchebag, and I thought he made some stupid one-liners, but they still made me laugh, so I like him for that.
He was he was an effective villain.
I think a more interesting movie would have been just watching Scorpion. Now that I think about it, just him fighting through the layers of hell.
Honestly, that would have been like cool. So much
to watch that. Maybe not like hour 50, but like that might have been more entertaining to watch,
or even just have a minute like at all doing that. Like all they showed was just him like looking like menacingly.
I don't know if they had the CGI budget.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
all demons everywhere.
But
I don't know.
Yeah, 5 out of 10. Probably wouldn't watch again.
Yep.
Oh, so I give it a Jack's original biotic arms out of his Arcana arms. The nuts and bolts are there. Doesn't hold up to expectations. If that makes sense.
I'm sorry. That does not make sense.
I was trying to make an analogy. Look, look.
I get where you're going for.
Yeah.
Also, I was thinking of making like a wiki for our our podcast where I chronicle everyone's scores for things. So you need to give me just a number.
Dude, oh, fuck. That's a solid 5 out of 10 there.
Hey, 50-50. I like it. Air high five.
Will we be like murdered by hardcore Mortal Kombat fans for like shitting on this?
I'm like 90% sure they're shitting on it more than we are, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
If they're hardcore fans, I'm like 90% sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
So,
you didn't give it a low enough score.
I think this film...
Yeah, they're shitting on us for not giving it lower.
You
This-
filthy casuals.
Sometimes when they transition from scene to scene, I felt like I was missing minutes of other footage that probably got cut. Because like there would just be scenes where like everyone's in a courtyard together. And I'm like, what were they all doing in that courtyard together? Was there training we missed? Was there character development we missed? This film just feels like it's both not taking enough time for characters and also spending way too much time on a plot that clearly has no idea where it's going. I think it's actually a fairly good looking film. I think the cinematography is decent. I think the characters, I think the costume design is actually pretty on point. But so much of this film is just a chore to watch. And by the end, like not even the best choreography or the best moments of Hiroyuki Sanada just like killing it. They can't really salvage this from feeling like a cash-in attempt. And more than that, they just wanted to make a sequel. Like they could have just made a good film. They didn't want to do that. They just wanted to make a film so they could build up to more films after this. But like, I don't want to see your sequel if you didn't put any effort into this one. I'm giving Mortal Kombat a 4 out of 10.
Blasphemous.
How dare you rate it one score?
Yeah,
lower
you
than
fucking
ours.
asshole. No, I hate it more than you. I'm giving it a 3 out of 10.
We'd be like bold and brash. Matt be like, it belongs in the trash.
Oh.
That's why he's the friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
And with that, I think we should go on a little ad break.
Yeah, should.
More like an ass break, because
What?
my ass hurts right now from the chair.
Christ.
This chair is actually wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad you're real comfortable over
You
there.
want
bud.
I don't know what you're
Cheers
talking
for
about.
a
I'm sitting on essentially
Maybe.
the same stool you are, and I'm fine.
Yeah, I have a lot more body mass, bud.
I mean, that's fair, but I also don't have an ass, so
Friend of the spoils.
See, it's my Puerto Rican fiery blood. Wait, wait.
No, but he's got a point because Colin has less to cushion,
yeah.
whereas we're pretty thick boys.
See, but what happens is that because I have a thicker upper body, it's more weight down, and then what happens is that the buoyancy of my gluteus maximus makes it push back up into my bones.
No,
so
what
it's
you gotta-
worse.
what- no,
It's constricting my tailbone.
No, you know what you got to do is what I should do more is you got to like sit further back, lifting it up, and then that way you basically make it so that you do the same. Okay, well you're straight, so you
But
might not.
how
be
will
able
they
to
know
raise
my
this.
fiery badonkadonk?
Well, if you do what I'm
That's
doing,
why Bella said yes to your first date. Let's be honest here.
because you walked backwards up to her
I was like, hey.
in tight pants
Back that
that
shit up.
were immediately demolished.
The dump truck just backed it up.
On that note, ad break.
Yes.
Friend of the show.
Yasuke.
Josh schooled me earlier because I thought I corrected him in the pronunciation, but then Matt informed us I was the fool.
Yeah, now
Wait,
he's
did I?
cultured.
Actually, I informed you. Actually, I think.
Or in the break, you were like, it's actually Yasuke.
I mean,
that was me.
Oh, was
I mean, Yasuke is accurate.
Yasuke?
Yeah, Yasuke is accurate.
Oh,
The debate was.
Well, it's because you're saying like Yasuke, but like you're saying it fast like Yasuke.
right.
It's not Yasuke exactly, but there's just a slight, subtle little U sound.
Exactly. It's little Sasuke. I just said Sasuke, but I meant Yasuke.
Subtleties of life.
So for anyone who doesn't know, new Netflix show, obviously called Yasuke, but it's about a historical African slave in the 1500s that was given to Oda Nobunaga by I believe, Italian merchant. I said a Portuguese merchant. I was wrong about
Wasn't
that.
it the Dutch?
I thought he was French.
No, it's Italian. It's Italian. I looked it up. Watch me be wrong this time too, but I'm pretty sure it was Italian. But he later became a soldier in Oda Nobunaga's army. Unfortunately, once Oda Nobunaga died, he was given back to a mission, like a Christian mission. Wow, I can't say that. And he was never heard from again. But basically, this show is theoretically what happened. It's heavily fantasized. But yeah,
it is. So yeah, it's a fictionalized, take on his life story, kinda. But yeah, whereas in real life, it was more of that. He was less of a samurai and more of just like a retainer for Nobunaga, as kind of like his, because he was just very intrigued by Yasuke because they'd never seen a black guy before, and then everything else he said was fairly accurate, and then but this show kind of supposes that he kind of escaped from the mission and then became just like a boatman for some village. So the story is 2 parts: a tale of him being kind of propositioned to escort this young girl with strange powers and this debilitating illness affecting her, and transporting her to a doctor who can help. And then other part, a series of flashbacks showing how he got to where he was, his relationship with Nobunaga, and his relationship with other people. Silence your phone.
Wow.
That was okay. For some reason, my dad has his phone linked to the computer here, so
really?
it's fine.
Read his text quick now.
But what was I gonna say?
Before we were rudely
interrupted. Wait, Matt, what did you just say? Sorry.
That it was
the show.
Yeah, the second half of the show, the second part of it is flashbacks to his life, his time with Nobunaga, as well as the other people within his military who he both became friends with and also had some tension with.
I got super Geralt Ciri vibes from this.
Oh, from the relationship between Yasuke and Saki. The girl.
Yeah. Totally.
That makes sense. I mean, she is like super powerful, which is actually something that I really liked, especially like by episode 4, they kind of established that it's like he's not really protecting her so much as they're both capable of defending themselves,
right?
But like she wants him along with her because, well, I mean, she doesn't want to be alone because she's powerful, but she's still like vulnerable. Obviously,
yeah.
It was just they kind of played around with what is typically the dynamic between those characters, and I thought that was interesting. I think you'll find as this review goes on that my biggest issues with the show come from how few episodes show had to develop its story.
It felt like a show that should have had like 3 or 4 more episodes to it, essentially.
I'm going to preface this by saying I only watched the first episode, but just by watching the first episode, I already felt like that.
Yeah.
Like, I already felt like I already need more. I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously there's a whole show I'm missing, but like, I just felt like just watching it, I'm like, I already feel like there's going to be like, I'm going to watch this and be like, I need more. Yeah. Like, I just need something explaining more.
Obviously, spoilers, but I want to ask Josh this. It opens with fucking mechs in 1500 Japan. How'd you feel about that one?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of sets the stage, right? That it's going to be more like, fantastical, kind of, not science fiction, but kind of normal fiction. But yeah, I mean, even though the plot moved super fast with the time it was given, it's still like, the thing I liked most about it, and I don't have a lot of like anime referential knowledge that I can draw upon, but just the impression from it is like, even though the plot moved super fast, it had these like super serene, calming kind of like vibes to it.
Oh yeah.
It had like beautiful environments. It was like serendipitous. Just like Yasuke was like the ultimate stoic, like through in and throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll give it, is they had beautiful animation.
Oh, and I think again, I don't have a lot of referential knowledge to draw from, but like that opening was like probably, you know, of the ones I've seen, probably like one of the most like trippy, lucid, but like really visually interesting intros I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
See,
Probably is up there with a lot of other ones, just because I don't know how much better you can be different from that, but like, you know, it's hard to speak objectively about like that when it looks that good.
right. See, like, my issue is that I don't know if you saw the trailer for it before you watched it, Josh, or like kind of you knew any information, but from like
Totally blind into it.
okay, see, and I think like that's part of it is that for me when I was like first seeing the trailers, I was thinking, okay, it's probably gonna be more like Samurai Man and like some like supernatural stuff here and
Yeah,
there.
because you can see magic in the trailers. And stuff.
Right, so that's why I was like, okay, like maybe they'll just take like the normal thing, make it. I was expecting a more grounded like Samurai Man, but there's magic in the world kind of thing. And I feel like I got the complete opposite.
But
where
then
it's, like,
fucking
balls-
surprise.
As soon as I saw Max, I was like, this is just like balls to the wall. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's probably good. Again, I haven't watched the whole show. I probably would get past it. But like, I was just expecting Samurai Man, and I got mech people.
You know, I was like, okay, Max, I can fuck with it. And then but then fucking giant Russian werebear lady. I was like, what the fuck
That's what I'm
is
saying. I was like,
this?
they just
Oh
went
my
balls
God.
out, bro.
Yeah, there's the Russian like the Russian lichen. Then there was the literal android Haruto. Then there was the woman with the scythe, who, I mean, she was just a woman with a scythe.
Yeah.
There wasn't too much with her. And then there was like
African shaman.
African shaman dude.
Who I do appreciate it because he was wearing an Oresian symbol, which is an actual African religion.
Wait, but isn't Yasuke supposed to be like the only African American in Japan at the time?
Well, that's
Yeah,
why. That's
but-
why there's dialogue that's like that where they're like. Where the android is like,
yeah.
I thought you were the only black man in Japan.
Oh.
Which, by the way, Haruto, the robot, is the best character in this entire
He
show.
reminds me of Yes Man from Fallout New Vegas. He has that like naive
Oh, I love Yes Man.
positivity about him. Like
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, friend, you're dead." He's like,
Yeah, I could see.
Josh,
that.
I think me and you are
Spoilers.
the only ones who've played all of New Vegas on the podcast right now.
Ooh.
New
Well,
Vegas
I mean,
it's such a great game. I'm sorry. Right when you said yes, man, I was like, yes,
yes,
man, yeah.
yes, man.
Yeah, but I think those characters are like the best in the show because by the end, like me and my friends we're finishing it up last night, and we were just like, man, like I kind of wish that these guys were like in it more because there's just so. There's especially
they're cast
Haruto
of
the robot,
characters.
like he has the funniest lines, and then he also has some of like, but then like later on, like I'm just a sucker for robots who like become friends with humans. So like there's some lines in there that I'm just like, oh, this is cute as fuck.
You'll love Yes Man New Vegas.
Oh, I can't wait to play it. I just recently finished the Outer Worlds, so I'm definitely gonna.
Shit. Yeah, it's made by the same.
I know. That's why I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like I agree with you on that, but going back to I felt like it needed 3 or 4 more episodes. Was that?
Yeah.
It had the whole like, oh, we're friends now with Scythe Lady, and then he's willing to literally nuke him, like self-destruct over someone he quote unquote became friends with 5 minutes ago.
Because he's a robot. He doesn't know better. He's like, friend.
I mean, I guess, but like,
So are we spoiling it?
yeah, we've said
I thought
spoilers.
we already said
yeah.
spoilers.
I mean, I was being vague, but yeah.
Yeah, we said spoilers. So.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
All right. At the beginning of this segment.
Yeah, we
We
did.
already said it.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Like 100%. We did.
All right. Well, I thought we were going to try to be careful about this, but
No,
Nah.
no.
All right.
When have we ever
Hasn't the
been
show-
careful about?
Yeah, hasn't the show been out for a while, anyways?
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I haven't seen it, but
two-
like, I'm
2
going to
to 3
bounce off of
weeks.
what you guys say to decide if I even want to
Right.
continue it. Honestly,
2-3 weeks.
All right. Well, like a week or two. Yeah.
like I'm counting on your guys' review to tell me if I want to continue it.
You don't.
Okay, cool.
But I do want to say the things that I do like about the show. I think that the music by Flying Lotus, I think, is really super relaxing.
Oh, yeah.
Even during fight scenes, it combines a lot of classic Japanese instruments, but it also has like this kind of like almost like cyberpunk-esque, like airy, like synth wave
Don't
going
you fucking
about.
talk about that fucking piece of shit game.
Did you give that your
It's
game of the
genre.
year?
I did.
Yeah,
No.
you did, and now you hate it. But you're
I don't. I actually haven't played like any more of it. I'm just waiting for it to actually be fixed completely.
You're gonna be waiting a long time. It's not good. Just replay the Outer Worlds.
Just play out. Yeah,
Just play Cyberpunk 2078.
Me and Matt were talking about Outer Worlds when we got Wendy's before this, and I'm just like, fuck. I'm gonna see how long I have on Game Pass, which I found out I somehow bought Game Pass until February of 2022.
It's probably because it's going off your Xbox Live when you first got it.
That's true.
So.
But I was like, sick. I'm gonna make my drug addict Oonga Boonga melee character.
Perfect.
So
yeah, I've played Outer Worlds like a little bit. I want to continue it. I have it on my PC downloaded, so I'm like, gotta play that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the music is really good. That's something I can say about it. That it's absolutely like worth. If you can get the soundtrack, like I don't know if they're going to release on Apple Music or Spotify. It's probably worth listening to. I'd also say the voice acting is really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Whoever played Saki did a really good job.
Yeah, Saki, the girl who voiced her was great. Mina Wen, the woman who voiced Mulan and also who played Fennec in The Mandalorian. She does the voice of Natsumaru, I think was her name.
Yeah, her mom.
The one character's mom, and so
Saki's mom.
Was it Saki's mom?
Yeah, Saki's mom.
I honestly
that's another thing because like
I never understood that.
They reference they reference Saki being taken away by creepy priest man by her quote unquote mom, but we never see that, so it's super confusing on what the relationship.
So what I'm hearing is the reason this is bad is the same reason Mortal Kombat is bad. Is that we don't know who is who.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's
whose mom is who.
And like I get it because it's like, oh, this is our proving to Netflix season. But the thing is that Castlevania first season also only had 6 episodes, or 6 or 8, but it still managed to do a very small self-contained story.
That's because the first season of Castlevania was literally originally supposed to be a movie, and then they just turned it into 4 episodes. And then second season was just the conclusion of that original like script that Warren Ellis had written.
Yeah.
And then season 3 was its own thing. So yeah, I mean, but like they knew how to pace it out well. This show is only 6 episodes, which shocked me and immediately made me worried when I first got into it, because there are some shows out there, especially anime that are wonderful, that are brilliant, and are only 6 episodes. Gunbuster from 1988 or 89, absolutely amazing. Hideaki Anno's directorial debut, the very first thing he directed before he directed Evangelion. Die Buster, years later, masterpiece, 10 out of 10.
Lots of busters here.
Fooly Cooley, another amazing show, like absolute fucking classic. Only 6 episodes.
Obviously, Dragon Ball Z.
600, yeah. But this show needed to be longer because like the first 3 episodes are like their self-contained kind of arc. It's pretty dense too. Like the beginnings of what should have been a journey. And then the second half, there are a lot of shows that are kind of like Yasuke that are longer. There should have been, like, if this was any other normal show like this would have been a 24-episode show, and most of those episodes would have been, like, standalone, episodic, like, adventures of them on their way to meet the Doctor at the end of the show.
Well, it seemed like they tried to stuff in 2 whole story arcs into 6 episodes.
Yeah. The journey, the actual journey from point A to point B is condensed into episode 4, which funnily enough is actually one of the best looking episodes of the season, thanks to storyboarding by Masahiro Ando. But I swear, and another thing about the show, music's great, the voice acting's great. I'm actually really glad that Keith Stanfield, I was worried because in those first trailers I was like, his line delivery sounds kind of flat. The lines in the trailer are the worst lines that he's given, but everything else I think he did a pretty good job as like the stoic protagonist. And I love Lakeith Stanfield as an actor, so I'm glad that he's getting work, and I think he did a good job here. Everybody I think did a wonderful job, especially that priest guy. His voice actor was great. My biggest issue with the show, one of the biggest, is the inconsistency in the art quality. Because there are some moments where like I look at it and it's just it's beautiful. The backgrounds are actually pretty consistent. But character designs staying on model, looking good, like most of the time. there were some episodes where they looked great, and other times where I felt like the animation really cut a lot of corners. And then, I mean, that's a thing that happens with Japanese animation. I think a lot of the soul of Japanese animation is kind of being low budget, working around constraints within a budget. But I think that the allure of Sakuga as an art form is how the corners are cut, but the limitations are accounted for in creative ways. But here, though, the animation, the art kind of struggles to maintain like a steady baseline. There is beauty in the show. There are moments where the character designs and the artwork mix together to create wonderful moments. But I felt like they were few and far between by the end of the whole story.
Okay, I want to pose a question to you guys real quick, especially Josh here. What was the or friend of the show? What was the boy's name that tried to attack Yasuke?
Was it some of the Inhiro or something?
Maybe
something like that.
I feel like it was something Hiro.
Point is, was I the one who thought they were, because it seemed to me like they were gonna make him Yasuke's main like sidekick, but then they kind of did a 180. It's like, no, psych, it's the sick girl.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna join them on the world.
Yeah.
But they didn't really.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
that he got fucking bodied.
Yeah, all these subplots and stuff, that comes with the constraint of, low season or low episode count, rather. I don't know, I kind of sometimes have an appreciation though when stories are short, because you're still dealing with movie length. I guess even if you take out the credits and the intro, you're still dealing with the solid 120 plus minute movie length deal here, and you can tell plenty of good stories with that amount of time, obviously.
That's true.
I can appreciate when they can tell their piece and move on, but yeah, obviously that does pose a constraint to work around too.
Yeah, and I mean that requires a lot of it requires a good handling of pacing, which is something that's very hard to describe or even quantify what makes good pacing, because the science of it is basically like there's fast bits and there's slow bits, and the intermixing of those fast bits and slow bits combine to make something that's appealing to a majority audience.
Well, I felt like the creepy priest guy in itself, because we were saying how it's basically 2 arcs stuffed in a 6-episode season. I felt like creepy priest guy should have been only the first 6 episodes, and then if it got a second season, elaborate. Because from what creepy priest guy was saying is like they were there's these mutants around the world, essentially, because he had freaking tree tentacle hands. Essentially, it was weird.
That's the thing. There are a lot of shows that have supernatural elements in them, especially like anime such as this, and even more so that have a dynamic like this where it's stoic hero protecting a young boy or girl. But a lot of them do a much better job of explaining why the paranormal elements exist. The same studio that produced this Mappa, last year they produced a show called Dororo, which if you have Amazon Prime...
Dororo?
Dororo, which is actually based on a classic... based on a really, really old manga, like a super legendary work by a man who... I forget his name. I think his last name is Tezuka. I think there was actually a studio named after him. But that's on Amazon Prime Video. I highly recommend it. But that's another show that it's pretty grounded. There's a lot of brutal violence, but the whole basis of the show is the main character having to kill demons, and each time he kills a demon, he gets one of his limbs back that he lost. He's like this guy with a bunch of prosthetic limbs, just fighting to get his body back. But the way they introduce the plot elements, it's like it establishes very early on. It's like, okay, this is a world where supernatural exists. There are demons, and that is it's always tied intrinsically to the spirituality of the setting. Japan is a very spiritual country, so they're going to have a lot of lore and a lot of myth to work off of. Even other shows that don't even work on the mythic side of things. Sengoku Basara is another show that has tons of ridiculous high octane supernatural action, but they still kind of they don't even have to explain it. It's just you establish it early on enough and then keep it consistent, and everyone just agrees with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to explain it.
Yeah, it's one thing about establishing a supernatural or like the ordinary aspect of the story like mechs, but it's another thing of where you don't explain the damn thing, essentially.
And it's also like how loud and out there and explosive is the action? How ridiculous is the show in its tone? How consistent is that? If it does become more dramatic and serious, does it at least do so in a larger than life way?
How predictable was the consort to Oda Nobunaga being the demon samurai lady?
I haven't
you guys.
seen it, and I already think it was predictable.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Remember how the whole deal when like the demon samurai lady, like that whole fight scene, and they're like, oh, it was Oda Nobunaga's consort who he trained with. Who would have known?
Wait, who? What?
Remember the flashback he trained with that woman who was a consort of Oda Nobunaga?
She was a spy.
Yeah, the spy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then what? But then
she's the demon lady that he fights later on.
Wait, is what?
Yeah, they made it really clear that was the same woman.
No, no fucking way.
Yes, they did.
It was a completely different voice actress.
Yeah, but they made it very clear because she died in the same way she died on the battlefield. They did flashbacks simultaneously.
No, that was him. He stabbed her, and then because that was the first. No, it wasn't the first, but he'd killed yet another woman with that same sword, and he was getting like PTSD. That's what I thought it was.
I thought it was the same woman personally.
Because that was a completely different
right, but
voice actress.
It doesn't have to be the same voice actor because she's a demon lady.
But they looked completely different.
Right, because of demon reasons.
Oh, but even the other characters who returned, like Mitsuhide, when he returned as a demon.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, it's fine. I'll throw it to you in a second. But even like when Mitsuhide like was revealed to be a demon later on, he looked exactly the same, just with the black eyes.
Yeah, but like at the same time, who is a 7-foot tall woman who has a really pointy chin and black eyes and talks like a demon in reality?
What do you mean?
I mean, the point is, it's really up to artistic interpretation, because Mitsuhide, sure, he was fine, but at the same time, the samurai demon lady had very exaggerated features.
Weren't they getting the black eyes?
You're trying to, here, let me look at my
control from the ultimate like queen demon lady. Wasn't she sending that out?
Yeah, because that's what I thought too, right?
So wouldn't she be like controlled by her? But I had a flashback. I mean, I was kind of probably tired when I watched this portion, but wasn't that flashback because Yasuke noticed the little necklace crest that Saki had, and then I thought it was because he noticed that necklace crest that was her mom's, right? And so that was like her real mom, I think, in the flashback. And then he's like, he had that flashback because he was going back to when he killed her, or almost killed her. No, I think he did kill her, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And she had that crest, and then I thought that. And now that was,
that was like the reason that he accepted the job, was because he noticed the crest and all that other stuff.
I mean, I don't know. I probably should have like go back and watch that.
I know. I really. I don't think that's not the.
I thought that's what they're going for on that one.
I didn't pick up on that lady being. I thought she was a. I thought that thing about that was like she was a lady who was a spy for like a rival clan, and then she trained with Yasuke, and they built this like bond, and then he had to kill her because she was a spy.
Right.
And she had that like passing remark like about, I don't know how they he said like what was like all for nothing or something, or like there's nothing there, and she's like no, there actually was something, but he still had to kill her, I guess, and she died with honor with that necklace.
See, this going off the necklace thing, I'm like, I still don't fully understand where the necklace came into play with Saki and the.
I think it might have just been a token of like showing that was her mom's, maybe.
But the same time, the songstress or musician or whatever had it, but then they implied she adopted Saki.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how she got that. Maybe I'm not really sure.
The point is this show is confusing.
Yeah.
So update, Matt and Michael, what'd you find?
We're still looking because the cast page on the fandom wiki doesn't have. Let's see, who is.
Is it Daimyo? Is that the person?
No.
Daimyo, Daimyo was the
demon lady, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the person you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about a different demon lady. Daimyo is the head demon lady.
This is just a hunch. Is Daimyo like an actual Japanese demon?
No, Daimyo is like a Japanese title. Like
it's the title of like a Japanese, like in the Sengoku period when it was all the warlords fighting for control of Japan. They were known as the Daimyo.
I was gonna say because that'd be kind of cool if they like incorporated a little bit of authentic Japanese mythic like demon names or something, and then made them their own characters in the show.
You're right. They should have done that.
I thought that's what it was. I was assuming like Daimyo was like an old, like ancient tale of like a demon, and they just made it. Josh,
you should be writing this show. That's such a cooler concept.
Right, I should be.
Check about Natsumaru.
Yes, what does she look like on the?
No, hold on.
Yeah, that's Nina Wynn's character. Hold on, wait. So
Josh, if you had to give this,
Kurosaka is the name of the character. Then is the name of the demon that disarms Yasuke in the woods in episode 4.
Right.
So let me look at who is Kurosaka. This is not gonna be worth it.
No, probably not.
Oh yeah, before I guess maybe to move on to maybe a slightly related subject on the animation side of things, Matt can probably speak to this. What I thought was cool, like I don't know how many other different, or maybe the rest of the crew that's seen other animes. I don't know how many other animes have done this, but what I thought was cool was those stark relief shots where typically Yasuke would get a kill shot, like I think when he snapped the one guy's neck and where he also beheaded the other guy. There's like a freeze frame and then a split second relief of dark, like high contrast dark black on blood red. I thought those shots are pretty cool. I don't know if is that kind of a established, kind of style of animation, or is that unique to this show?
Wait, was
Sorry, I just want to say she's, as far as I can tell, if this is the lady,
then
she's not the demon lady.
She's not the demon.
She's not
other
different voice actors.
samurai.
From what I can tell, no.
God, that just makes this show. That makes this show go down a whole nother number grade for me.
Here's the thing. I don't even like this. I'm giving this a really low rating, and I don't even think that is warranting giving it a lower or higher.
Because why show the flashback if you're not going to relate the two?
Because he just stabbed a woman, and it was like a woman through her armor in the chest, and that gave him PTSD to when he stabbed the woman that he had a crush on.
But they talked to each other like they knew each other.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
She looked completely different. She had a way pointier chin, different voice actors completely. Nothing about her at all was similar to the other character who had died. Not at all.
Going down a point.
Oh my god. But so what you were saying, describe the visual thing you were describing.
Oh, it was when Yasuke got like these kind of killed, like the second probably that he killed the person, like when he snapped the one person's neck, when he beheaded the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a split second of like dark, relief contrast of dark black on like bright blood red. Do you remember those shots? They happened pretty fast. I just thought they were kind of interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I know what you're talking about, and I'd say that's probably a stylistic choice that is fairly common. But yeah, you'd have to show me what you mean, and then yeah, I could probably you'll probably show it to me and immediately be like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a blood red background, and then basically all that's in black is Yasuke and the person he killed.
Oh, like a silhouette of them both silhouetted. Oh yeah, that's something that happens a lot.
Okay, because I'm not like super well versed in anime. I don't know if that's their trend or if that's new to the show, but that's something I thought was pretty cool, and it happened like this. It's like the moment they die, so to speak. Like right when the neck is snapped, it freezes. For a second.
Oh yeah, that's something like when you have with animation. I think a big part of having impact, like impact, is important to any fight scene.
Yeah.
So like in like kung fu like films, you'll see a lot of moments where they'll like speed up or slow down footage to really help an impact feel better, even to the point that they'll show an impact twice in between cuts to a different camera, so that they can help so that way like the punch kind of lands better, or like it flows better with the beat of the scene.
Yeah, because you can kind of like depending on your attention span, like you can kind of like get lost in the flow of a fight. You know what I'm talking about? Where like there's punches and stuff being like traded and thrown and stuff and whatnot, and there's just like a fast kind of like flow rate to the fight, and it's kind of just blurring together unless you're like really on the edge of your seat. But then like that change of pace where like it stops for a second, like right when the kill is made, and the whole kind of like art style changes for a split second. I like that, and that kind of reminds me of if you guys ever played Spec Ops: The Line, that had a pretty cool mechanic in it, where because that game was very not to get on a tangent, but it was pretty controversial. And
Josh, being #1 fan of the show, that's all we do is tangents.
Dude, we'll have tangents on tangents. It'll be super meta. We'll just have like a tangential spiral. But no, they did something similarly pretty quick, where they like, right when you kill somebody, it would slow down time. It wouldn't be like you slow down time like Max Payne, and then you kill somebody. It's like you killed somebody, and then they make you feel the impact of it by slowing down the time of the game, and I thought that was pretty cool. And that's that.
Are we talking like Sniper Elite sort of
like
thing?
Sniper Elite, like where it like slows down almost. I mean, not like the whole X-ray thing.
Yeah, that kind of also shows the carnage of like the shot. But I just thought it was like it kind of just pulls you out of the pace of the game. Like you're in the flow state of combat, and then you kill somebody, and then it like slows down, and I think it might do some visual trick of like blurring your foreground and then only making the background part of the kill clear, so you have to like kind of, it makes you like stick with the kill a little longer.
You're more like, that's a lot of damage.
And that's what the theme of the whole game is, is like focusing on that kind of side of conflict. But anyway, anywho,
did we want to give our ratings for Yasuke, and then based on our ratings, I want to hear Michael's thoughts on whether he's going to finish it or not.
Okay.
Let's go first. Matt, go first.
Okay. So, this comes from, this whole show is the brainchild of one LaShawn Thomas, who I think that I have both failed to follow his career a lot, and have also, in limited research of him, I think I've overestimated his career. He was involved in, the Boondocks. I think he wrote a few episodes.
Apparently he was invested in Korra too.
Yeah, he did storyboarding for Legend of Korra. So he's been around. He's been involved in the animation industry. He's also worked on a couple of things, like he did his own little animated short film called Children of Eden. He did another show. It was a Kickstarter project at first. Cannon Busters, another show that you might have heard of that's on Netflix, which actually there was some controversy because it was a Kickstarter project, but then he abandoned the pilot thing to go work on the full series once it got picked up by Netflix, and a lot of people didn't get their Kickstarter rewards as a result of that, so that was kind of shitty. But LaShawn Thomas, he has this kind of cult following because he is this, this guy who, he's had a hand in the animation industry, he knows his shit. He's also made a point of getting involved with projects and creating projects that add a lot of black representation to animation of this type. And that's really cool and really admirable. But man, I just feel like the direction of this was just really poorly done. It should have been longer. It should have been so much more fleshed out, or maybe even that it needed to be simpler. I think it was just the scope was just eclipsed to no end. And I also this kind of is this show being this kind of underwhelming to me is an extension of a larger issue. This was produced by Studio Mappa. I've written about them in the past. I'll leave a link in the description to stuff I've written about them. They're the same people who made the most recent final season of Attack on Titan. And they're a great studio. They've done great work, but they are doing too much. They produced like 8 shows in 2020. It was their biggest year ever. They have seen such meteoric growth that it is impossible to believe that they can actually succeed at creating consistently high-quality shows going forward without completely overworking their staff. And I know that overwork of staff is something that happens a lot in the Japanese industry. It's one of the darkest parts of that industry that we all love, and it's something that's constantly at the forefront of discussion of how to improve the industry. This is another example to me of what happens when an eclipsing of the creative scope conflicts with a flawed industry and an overworked studio that's taking on way too much work and way more work than it can handle. And because of that, by the end of the show, I ended up feeling incredibly sad to see a studio that I love so much take on so much more than they can handle. I'm going to give Yasuke a 5 out of 10.
Oof.
One more point than Mortal Kombat.
Oh, that's true.
That's
better,
true.
Better than Mortal Kombat.
It's because of the music and the also character designs by Takeshi Koike. And when the art quality reflected the beauty of those character designs, I was like, hey, those are some pretty cool looking characters. And the voice acting was really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid.
Wait for the stupid.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Let me think of a stupid rating system. Real
I can't
quick.
wait on that wiki.
3.
I'm gonna give it a
max out of 2.
I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna give it a long-haired Yasuke out of a. No, let me change that rating real quick.
Right.
I'm gonna give a whole rip through a Yasuke out of a short-haired Yasuke. Yes.
Whole hair.
A whole rip?
Whole rip.
No, remember the how he was like splasted through the chest at the end?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, a gutted Yasuke out of a full Yasuke.
So what is that equal?
That equals
is that 50-50?
No, I'd say there was still I'd still say that's a 60% of him still there.
You were left
in the
feeling
end.
empty, though.
So that's a solid 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah,
Our one fan in the UK is gonna like the terminology. Oh, he was gutted. He was practically he was absolutely gutted, man.
Just because of that, Matt, they're never gonna listen to it.
Yeah, no, because of backgrounds and voice acting. That's my main thing.
Okay.
Josh.
Oh, well, I obviously hated it because it copied Mando.
True.
Because, think about it, both kids have special powers and special, flowing blue energy to represent that. And obviously the mercenaries that were the very cool, diverse, cast and crew of those mercs that were only interested in money at first have the same story arc as Mando. They're both starting out as bounty hunters, mercenaries, same thing, and then gradually over time they start caring about the cause. Mando cares about the kid, and the mercs were like, it's the arc from selfishness to selflessness.
So what you're saying is that you should watch The Mandalorian.
You should watch the much longer Mandalorian.
I also want to point out that Fennec is technically in both.
That's true. Mina Wen, great actress. I love her to death.
What's the score on that?
I didn't hear
one?
the score here, Josh.
Oh, well, no, my actual score is again, I'm an anime virgin, right? So I'm popping these too early, but I fall on a place in the critical spectrum.
Oh, he said the thing. Oh, man, he really is.
He really is a friend of the show.
I fall in a pretty niche or kind of amateur spot for the anime category on the critical spectrum. So I'm not seeing it in 5 dimensions like Matthew. It's more like 2 dimensions. But
because it's a 2D show, I get it.
Yeah. So without all those, maybe subconsciously I am like whether I like something or not is like there's probably many subconscious reasons, and Matt's probably describing them all consciously, and I might be probably agreeing, but just on like the surface level and from my point of view, I just kind of like the pretty colors.
From my point of view,
pretty environments, cool action. I mean, you got a cool historically accurate Black represented story.
Yeah.
So from my point of view, I couldn't nitpick consciously too many things wrong with it because I'm not, experienced enough to have, solid critiques yet. So probably a good 8 out of 10. Good solid first anime shows.
I like it.
Nice.
All right. I respect that.
I like that. I do want to give, since you are a self-proclaimed anime virgin, I would like to recommend a couple of shows that while I was watching this, a couple of shows that I think that if you enjoyed this, I think you'll really enjoy. One is a show that's actually shorter than this, but actually a little bit it makes use of that time a bit better. From 2005, Afro Samurai. Starring Samuel L. Jackson. That's also like very anachronistic in its technology, but it's a really unique merger of like Wild West and samurai Sengoku period aesthetics. There's also the show I mentioned earlier, Dororo, on Amazon Prime. I'll leave links to these in the description. And then Sword of the Stranger is a movie from 2007 called Classic. I think we watched it at some point, but only you. Colin doesn't remember that show.
I don't think
he was with us when we watched that. But it's a great movie.
I was dicking around the desert.
Probably. But yeah, there's.
Champloo.
That's another good one. That one also has a lot of hip hop in it. That's another like classic. I wasn't as big of a fan as a lot of other people are, but it's still pretty awesome.
So Josh, retraction. I just reevaluated my like grading scale, and I just realized like, I don't know. I feel like an 8 out of 10 should be reserved for something that is like, see, I can't really nitpick anything anything I really found wrong with the show upon watching it. Although I might agree, but with criticisms, I can't really nitpick things wrong with it. But at the same time, I couldn't say that like the amount of excitement it brought me up to would be like that, deserving of like an 8, like an 8 out of 10. I gotcha. I would give it. I felt very like neutral about this show, like literally and like I don't know, emotionally, because it was very calming, thematically and artistically in the show. Very, very calming. I was just like very kind of neutral about the show. Mm-hmm. There was fast points, there was slow points. Just overall very, neutral but pleasant experience, and not too many things wrong that I could, pick out. So I'd change it to a 7.5.
Oh, okay.
Very middle of the road.
Respectable.
C average.
I was going to say C, yeah.
Man, what an arc.
You're right.
Half a point deducted because it wasn't like, jumping out of my seat, like, or like really good,
like, oh,
solid.
Shit. Right.
8 work.
I gotcha. See, I feel like once you start watching, if you watch more anime, I want to have like a retroactive review from you and see what you like think about it compared to some other ones.
See how once you flesh out the your experience with other animes that probably will change your view of how you see new animes,
right?
Or how you look at old ones.
Michael, you think you're gonna watch it?
Fuck no, probably not. No. I honestly, after watching the first episode, I really did not want to continue it because I guess I just had this preconception before it that I expected to be more grounded, and when it wasn't, I was really disappointed. So I was kind of like, eh. And now after everything you guys are saying, I'm like, why would I even waste my time for this?
Fair enough.
So That's fair.
I'd probably just end up using my time to either play something else that I care about more.
Ball Z isn't grounded.
Yeah, but I wasn't expecting that to be ground. I expect,
So
fucking blonde hair, superpowered man.
Expectations.
Yeah, the expectations, I feel like, were set a little differently in the beginning. If I saw Mex in the trailer, then I feel like I might have thought about it differently. But the fact that, I don't know, that just the fact that the first episode, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
That's why you never watch trailers.
Honestly, that's true. That's true.
You will enjoy stuff so much more. You'll be naively blissful.
This is true. Yeah, if you don't expect like something, that's what.
Just stumble into experience. Just stumble into it. Like don't even just find stuff, and you're like, oh, this is interesting.
This is neat.
Pleasant surprise,
right?
Or not. But,
breaking news, everybody! You can walk a dog in Judgment.
In the sequel to Judgment, in the sequel to Judgment titled Lost Judgment, you can walk a dog.
That's all I care about. That's all I need to know.
Should we wrap the show up here, boys?
Did you give a rating for Yes.
Oh yeah, I did.
It was like 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
But he got there eventually. Yeah. But it was a bit hard to decide.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna give it like a 3 out of 10.
From the one episode.
3 out of 10. Won't finish it ever again.
Yeah, fair enough.
Understandable.
Understandable. Have a good day.
Well, thank you all very much for listening. My name is Matthew Lundeen. I've been joined here by Michael Mrowca, Colin Steele, and friend of the show, Josh Mrowca. And
DJ Jazzy Josh.
You can follow us on Twitter at The Crit Spectrum.
Yeah. New Twitter page.
We have a Twitter page
Crit
now.
Spectrum?
That's just the ad. The title of the Twitter page is The Critical Spectrum, but our at line is at The Crit Spectrum. That's all that was available. And I wanted
I was going to say, we couldn't.
And I wanted the because if it was The Critical Spectrum, it would have been too long. So at The Crit Spectrum, we're also The Critical Spectrum on Instagram. Insta.
And I'm deciding, since I'm the new social media manager, keep a lookout for either on Thursdays or Fridays behind the scenes videos or photos. I'm making that a regular thing now.
Yeah.
So
I like it. Wait. Thursdays to Fridays, you mean right after the show?
Yeah, like right after we record it.
I thought you were saying for the show. I'm like, the show comes out first, and then that Thursday they get the scenes?
It's either whether I find the energy to do it right after we record the show or the day after in the morning.
Okay, so most likely Friday.
Most likely Friday, yes.
Yeah.
Friday or Saturday, yes.
Links in the description for anything else I discussed that I'll remember to put in the description. And then new episodes come out every Monday at 10 a.m. Central Time, wherever podcasts are found. And video versions are really just the audio versions with a background on YouTube. Those come out the following Wednesday after an episode has come out on our YouTube page at 7 p.m. Central Time.
We would also like to thank our guest here, DJ Jazzy Josh.
Thanks for having me, guys. But it wouldn't feel right to not give a disclaimer that they should, the audience should really take everything I just said with a grain of salt, because I am wearing a Fortnite hoodie. So
the inner machinations of his mind are an enigma.
And we at the show here love Fortnite, don't we?
I do.
No, don't you dare start this right now. Don't you dare.
We're closing out. Thank you.
Don't you start.
That's the end of the show.
Don't you start Fortnite debate too.